What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 39 of Light of the Asur, our attempts to stabilize the Great Vortex and finish off the Ritual of the Defender. We have 10 turns to hold out, and we have so much pain coming down the pipe. Up in the northwest here, we have a bunch of Skaven. They're slightly mauled, but we're going to have to deal with them, which is going to be Yan and Latania, who immediately afterwards are going to come down towards Lothern. So we have me rebuilding my force here, and Janice here getting ready because of this. 5 maxed out Skaven army stacks. Yeah, last time we learned that the whole comet thing was their doing. Kind of curious if it differs from playthrough to playthrough. Going to have to look into that. But the Skaven have sent massive armies to try and stop our final ritual. And I mean massive. Level 35, level 40 heroes. It's a big force. Now we're hoping that the lore masters are going to help us out a little bit here. Hoping. So we have to build up in the inner area to try and fight this off. We have to hold Lothern, the Gain Vale, and Tor-Elir. And we have very little troops right now. We've suffered a lot over the course of the campaign. And Eolair is still running around in the ocean collecting stuff for us. He's not going to be any help. We're going to have to raise armies as we go and hope for the best. So pretty much at this point it's build up, build up, build up, build up, and fight for everything we're worth. This is going to be intense. So on that particular topic, let's look at Latania's army. Some silver helms with shields, normal silver helms, a lot of cavalry in general. But she has some Phoenix Guard and a couple of heroes to help her out. Yan, on the other hand, has a massive infantry stack, including some of the new Shadow Warriors that we haven't really played around with much in the campaign. This Ratman army has gone into march stance, so, in theory, if we assault them this turn, they're done. They're hurt, they're wounded, a lot of their units are screwed up, and we will be having reinforcements from Latania, who will have a lot of cavalry to come in. That's going to be one of our first things, but before we even get on to that, we're going to go into Genesis' army. And we're going to go to the global recruitment. We have a couple of turns to hold off. We're going to grab another unit of Phoenix Guard, another unit of Sword Masters, at least another unit of Archers, and a trio of Silver Helms. It's going to take a couple of turns for them to get trained up, but that'll help that stack out. And we're going to have to fight these armies out pretty evenly. Can't really lose against them. Some of them might go north to try and come in through one of the gates up here. But by doing that, they're either going to have to fight our fellow elves, or we'll have to deal with them ourselves. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pop Latania out of the city. She's able to help from where she is, actually. So if we go into battle here, it's completely weighted in our favor. Throw the banners down on a couple of Phoenix Guard units.
Pull back, Asur.
So, unfortunately, that's completely out of our range of fighting. And they just got massacred.
Victory for the Asur. Put them in fetters. We stand ready for
And we got another banner out of it.
What would you have?
So now these army stacks we can actually build up as we go along. Our stack is maxed out, that's why we can't recruit anything, but I was thinking about combining these archer units together to make things a little bit better. But for right now, not a big deal. So Bell Eilini? That is a hard name to pronounce. Leveled up. She's one of the ones that we inherited, but we're going to put another rank into False Protection. She's going to be protecting and healing our troops. Now, more of our adopted heroes, we'll say, have been leveling up. Fëanor, who's finally back on Ulthuan and is starting to help us out, definitely going to set her up to be good. So we have to wait to see what direction those Skaven are going to go before we really commit to coming after them. It is tempting, though. I could send Xinyan back down to help defend near Lothern. If we can bottleneck them right here, it would definitely help us out. We do have some research available, too, though. I know I'm a little scatterbrained right now. It was a long day doing the 9 to 5 thing. Thankfully, I work with some incredible individuals, so it was not nearly as painful as it could have been. Let's get skirmishing saddles, since we have a few Illyrian units on the go. We do have a fair bit of coin coming in and a lot left up in our treasury, but I don't want to be spending that on building upgrades, considering right now only 3 cities matter. So what we're going to do, actually, I think we're going to go with that plan. We're going to split these people up a little bit. Xinyan's going to take the ocean route home, and we're going to send Latania up towards the Gaian Vale. Now, I don't see any fleets based out here, aside from the Pirates of Sartosa, who are nominally on our side. That doesn't really matter. So let's pass it off to the other nations and see what they do. Oh, and of course Chaplain Grimaldus is coming back. The Lore Masters significantly outclass us when it comes to armies right now. They're huge. It's kind of a shame, because we don't get Teclis as one of our legendary lords, but the fact that they're down there taking tails and scalping mains kind of helps us out. They've been dealing with the Skaven in the south. It is just Clan Pestilence, but it's been helping out. At the very least, it's been a distraction. The big kicker, I guess you could call it, is going to come when the Skaven start up their final ritual. Now, if they're able to hold on and we aren't, could be bad. But I sincerely doubt that the Skaven forces will be able to take Lothern. It's been our capital and our first held building since the start of the campaign. I mean, lots of elves have bled and died to defend it. We can't let them down. Maybe Teclis is actually coming off the Southlands. Ah, yeah, it reminds me now. The reason Chaplain was down on our southwest coast, it was to deal with that lizardmen army that decided they wanted to come and assault us. The last defenders landed on Ulthuan and promptly got torn apart by the good Chaplain and his army stack. Veterans from the war in the northwest. Fought a lot of Druki up there, and were actually the reason why we were able to get to the final ritual in the first place. It wasn't exactly a grand campaign, since we abandoned the New World in favor of Ulthuan. But it did allow us to do what we needed to do. They do have a couple of heroes running around, but they've been pretty much calling them back south. So I'm not too worried about them. At least not enough to pick one of our heroes to go and have a conversation with them. And by conversation, I mean slice them with a sword or hit them with an axe. Or a spell. Because, you know, mages do that sort of stuff too. Kind of makes me wonder. When all the mages are going out to do all these missions, are they actually using a lot of their magical might to do so? Because that doesn't seem right if you're looking at the spy missions. The secure influence or steal technology? Steal technology for mages. If they're using their magic for anything other than, you know, cloaking themselves in illusion or making themselves invisible, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Granted, if they were working in pairs, one could go in fireballs blazing and the other one could, you know, just slip in. And elves are crafty enough to do that. But they don't work in pairs. So, still, the question remains. Now, Clan Pestilence is significantly weaker than we are, but we can't direct any of our forces down there to slow them down. We have way too many rats to deal with as is. So it's going to come down to one big, massive slugfest out on Ulthuan. And it looks like the Vampire Coast finally got destroyed. It's an interesting little notion there. Of course, when we go to our Mortal Empires campaign, that could be one of the areas we dispatch our troops to kind of expand. If we do go with the Bretonnians, these are all Bretonnian nations across the northern edge of the Southlands. Lashik, Kofar, El Halik, they're all held by Bretonnian crusades. Now, with the Bretonnians, you have to research the banners of each individual nation to confederate with them. Makes sense in a long roundabout way because the dukedoms are so divided. But at the same time, it's kind of imposing. It makes sense for the further away areas to need influence to confederate with them. But places like Lyonesse, Bastogne, and all of that, yeah, even Bordeaux and Sarcesone, they are loyal to the crown. But they start off being a little bit wish-washy, which is weird. Now, with any luck, these Skaven armies will split up enough that it'll allow us to take on one or two at a time. Ratman troops are numerous, but not very strong. So, in theory, if they stay in march stance and we're able to engage enough of them far enough away from one another, it'll work out. They don't really have any cities to divert to on that path, though, because the last Skaven invasion kind of saw all those cities get burned to the ground. It's a sacrifice that's not really paying dividends right now. So yeah, the Vampire Coast was destroyed. We have a mission that was issued to us. Alright, so we're going to bring the good chaplain in close to Lothern. Put you back in regular stance. And now that we know they are coming down this way, we can divert Latania to come down here too. And of course, we're still making over 7 grand a turn. Janice is getting her army stack up fairly significantly. I have a lot of Phoenix Guard in mine. And another couple of archer units to round it out. I like the even numbers. And we're going to add some Dragon Princes in. And a couple of Star Dragons. Now that's going to hurt our treasury a fair bit. An awful lot, actually. But at the same time, with these veteran troops, there's a triple gold set of archers, double gold archers with armor, and of course, PC the Sound Elf and the good chaplain himself. And Chaplain Grimaldus is on a dragon and does massive amounts of damage. So, we should be able, in theory, to hold out against these Ratmen, as long as we can get these armies built up enough. And with the addition of all of these troops coming in, the addition of Chaplain, my forces, and Janice, we should, in theory, be able to hold out very well against these rats. But it's going to be one hell of a fight. Now, I keep constantly, during this campaign, I've forgotten about Eolair so many times. He's been out and about on the ocean. There's, of course, a Skull Island up there that we're... Skull Reef. That we are going to go over and get. And we should, in fact, go up and check our generals to make sure that each one of them has at least a few items of worth. Like I said, she has a shield and a brass cleaver, but not much else. I'm going to save that Talisman of Endurance for a more physically minded character. Let's give her the Lore Master's Cloak and the other Trickster's Shard. Give her a couple of banners to help. That should be good for Latania. Now, Janice, we're going to give you... We'll give you a Dragon Helm. Give you a Reaver Bow, which is definitely good for an archer character. We'll give you the Dawnstone. Crown of Command, and we'll give you a Druchii Hunter. That should help you out a little bit. I, of course, don't need anything because I have the Dragon Armor of Venarian and Sunfang, which are both incredibly tough. Sheena Yan, who's a new hero, all things considered. Give you the Shield of Ptolos. I don't think we have another Reaver Bow, which kind of sucks. But we will give you a Shrieking Blade, just in case. And another Dawnstone. We'll give you a Healing Potion. That should help you out. Now the Chaplain has a Talisman of Endurance, which is a war save. Featherfall Torque. Blade of Leaping Gold. The Lion Pelt, which is a really, really awesome item to start off with. PC is pretty much the same. So let's find another one of our princes. I believe Favendir is in Latania's army? Yes, he is. So we'll give him a Talisman of Endurance, Blade of Darting Steel, and a Spell Shield. And a Potion of Healing. Why not? Essentially, by gearing these heroes up, I'm hoping that it will allow us to do a little bit more in combat. So we can actually fight this off. What army is Senina in? Oh, Senina is not in an army right now. So, in fact, we should get you to go into Genesis' army.
Their skill is legend.
You have a pretty good setup so far. We'll give you a Power Stone. That should help you out. And that's pretty much all we can do. So again, we're not going to be building our settlements up at all. We're just going to pass it off to the other nations. Each round, these Ratmen get closer and closer and closer, and it's just... I was totally not expecting 5 more full army stacks. After the start of the ritual saw us hit with 5 full Ratmen army stacks. There's just so many rats trying to take over our island. We gotta deal with them. Now, if it was mice, I would be terrified. I've been dealing with a mouse lately, and I swear we should just leave out a tiny little piece of paper with rent agreements on it, because this mouse just will not fall for traps and is constantly smart. Yes, I'm being outsmarted by a mouse. I swear he's a supervillain waiting to happen. All he needs is a little bit of radiation, and he'll mutate into a mouse person. Anthropomorphic mouse. Smart little bastard, though. Plus, they're cute. Rats aren't cute. Mice are cute. Makes me wonder, are mice the true supervillains of the world? They're cute enough that you don't want them to be harmed. But they are mice. And all that comes with. It's kind of a double negative. And I know I'm really off tangent from the game, but sometimes that's where my brain goes. Of course, I'm thinking about Feifel from that Western Mouse movie and other things now. I swear mice are just super geniuses. They use their cuteness to their advantage. Anyway. Well, it's good that the last defenders are pulling their heroes, their skink priests and chieftains, back away from us. Wouldn't be any fun if they kept pushing towards us right now. Though they are supposed to be the aggressive faction of lizardmen. Krokgar being their hero. And Krokgar is definitely someone you don't want to meet on a bridge. Now, that might need some explaining to some who aren't invested in the fluff of the Warhammer universe. To those who know, you're welcome for the really, really cheap laugh. So, during the initial destruction of chaos being unleashed into the world, one of the temple cities, I cannot remember which one, and I probably mispronounce it anyway, was under siege by a big demon army. Well, Krokgar held a bridge by himself. No, I'm not talking with his troops. I mean, the lizard man held the bridge on his own. Like, he's a legend. He's a Scar veteran, Scar veteran's Scar veteran. He's just scary. He uses a blessed spear, rides a carnosaur. Like, yeah, he held the bridge by himself against greater demons. We're talking bloodthirsters, great unclean ones, changers of ways. And why can I not remember the Slaneshi ones? Probably because they're morbid and disgusting and twisted and beautiful all at the same time. Keeper of Secrets? Keeper of Secrets? I think it's Keeper of Secrets. That's what I'm going with anyway. That's what I'm calling it. But alone, he held that entire bridge off from all these demons and didn't die. So that kind of tells you what kind of lizard man he is. And if he was coming at us hardcore, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Now that's a Grey Seer, but they are starting to spread out a little bit. I don't know if it's the roughness of the terrain or just the fact that sometimes they're taking roads, sometimes they aren't. If they keep spreading out like that, we might be able to engage one or two of them on their own. And that's really what I'm hoping for. Because if we have to engage all 5 at once, that's going to hurt a lot. Might have to divert that mage. Senina, we need information. So why don't you go over here and see where they're holed up. Now, we did learn the hard way that sitting out and waiting for the Ratmen to engage you is a bad idea. So we're going to be a little bit more proactive this time.
Princess, your word?
Our troops should almost be finished.
Princess of Ulthuan.
So we're going to try and get in position to engage them rather than be engaged by them. It appears that one of our heroes in this army leveled up. Ah, Maya.
A true Asur.
One of the 232 that actually went out and joined up with one of the other armies. So we'll give her power drain. It's always wise to get power drain and earthing because, well, miscasts suck.
What news? Journeying on.
They really suck. Hey, a dragon armorer. That's definitely not going to hurt us. And there's another Skull Island over there. We already did that with Maya.
I'm listening.
So, with any luck, this entire stack will do what it needs to do. And Lothern has to hold. It's got a great army stack, including me sitting there with some Phoenix Guard. But that doesn't make it invulnerable. We'll probably see the first of these fights this episode. Hopefully it helps us out a little bit. Their troops aren't exactly in sight range right now, but they'll be here soon. That's a lot of flying and a lot of fire. Kilana. Maybe she'll go to war with someone that we need her to? Kind of interesting that the Lore Masters haven't been more aggressive. I mean, they're probably one of the strongest factions on the map right now. But they're not really pushing hard. They do have a few armies in enemy territory, but they're not doing anything with them, really. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that Lore Master's name. Rowan's easy. But some of the elven names are really out there. What'll be cool too is the size of the map that we'll be playing on in the next one will be all of this and more. Though some of the areas are pared down slightly. And there's Krokgar himself. Seeing him on the map, even though he is completely far away from us, does worry me. I mean, he is strong and is leading a pretty strong army stack. but he's not near us. But he could attack the Lore Masters, but he's not near us. Oh, and it looks like that witch hag has got a cauldron of blood. Altered a cane they roll into battle. And the Warband of the Hound is gone. So it looks like the Druchii finally took care of that little problem for them. And let's see what Clan Pestilence is going to do. Lord Skrulk hasn't really pushed out that much. That's kind of a weird way to do things. Probably raided and then decided to sit back and raid some more. Well, he sacked the city and then raided the area. Slan Huapek is kinda out of the running right now. I mean, they're not exactly helping out Hexawatl, and they're not exactly doing much to hinder the Ratman either. They're kinda just there. And again, it's always the pirates doing weird things. Are they going to lose another fleet to a Black Ark? Because last time they tried that, they lost a huge army stack that had some pretty decent heroes in it. Didn't work too well for them. And I know I say this every episode, but I'm still so surprised that the Spine of Sotek Dwarves are still in this campaign. Regardless of how far out of the action they actually are. They're still alive and in this.
Quick, but Sun Fang is quicker.
Yes, we will take a peace treaty with you. Hands down, done. No more need be said. Hopefully we are out of range for them. And yes, we were out of range for them to engage combat with us, and now they're going to be tired going into combat. With any luck, they'll all stay so spread out they can't all engage at once. We'll only have to fight two, or maybe even one, depending on how they end up in this fight. Because that is the last major threat to us, right there. It's those 5 army stacks. Well, we can take out that first one for sure. Yes, we know the Warband of the Hound is gone.
Lethal grace given form.
Okay, so it'll be the first 2. And the question is, who do we want to engage with? I think Genis is going to be the one that we engage with.
In defense of Ulthuan.
We do need a plan B just in case this goes sideways in a hurry. So Latania, we're going to get you being kind of our rear guard. Put you actually into Lothern. The fact that there's a storm just south of Lothern doesn't help out when you're looking at viewing distance. Oops, and we already passed Elair. You just go around collecting pretty things. Another dragon armor. That's kind of cool. 10,000 gold is even more cool. Now we're there, though. Let's see what I can get into my army for the next turn. So we have another stack there. So now the first battle of the end of the campaign is coming up on us.
We go.
Chaplain coming in as reinforcements. This should be a fight to remember.
Their deaths are necessary.
That's a lot of Skaven weapons of war.
The Kadai watch over us.
Alright, let's get this started. I love how their description is just meat shield. That's really what clan rats are too. Less so than Skaven slaves, but more so than almost every other unit in the game. Oh, and of course we are all spread out, and our reinforcements are coming behind them. We're going to gamble on 8, though. 'Cause 8 is just not good enough. So what I think we're going to try and do is push up this flank. Try and get as close to our reinforcing armies as we can so we don't get hit from 2 fronts at once. This army stack is in a very bad place. I don't know why they would decide to set it up like this and consider it good. We're going to take some damage from those war machines, but we have a plan to deal with that. Well, part of a plan. A semi-plan. That plan is Great Eagles. Either way, though, it is going to be tough. So we'll pause really quickly off the start. We're immediately going to move all our troops as close as elvenly possible up these hills. Get everyone in range. We're going to send 1 Great Eagle after that Plague Claw Catapult, 1 after that Warp Lightning Cannon, and 1 after that Warp Lightning Cannon. And with any luck, our troops will survive enough to outrun their reinforcements, while our reinforcements all come in from behind to slam these guys. Because we have full armies coming in to deal with the rats from behind. And it's not like they're weak armies either. Those Great Eagles pretty much exist at this point to deal with pretty much everything else that's coming out. We'll sort everything out once our troops get in position, but for right now, we do need to focus on this front line a little bit. Charge them all in. Storm Vermin, we're going to hit with 2 units of Sword Masters. Right now, pretty much all we got to do is charge with everything we have available to us. And that's a Hell Pit Abomination up there. That's definitely not a good sign. Alright, you archers, we're going to have you start raining down death on those gutter runners. And you're going to start firing at that. First things first, you have a nice little target there for your Reaver Bow. This is going to get very chaotic very, very, very quickly. And then we still have an entire other army to deal with. Alright, so over here we're winning pretty handily. Even though their Warp Lightning Cannon has got set up and is firing at us. The other 2 pieces of artillery really haven't. Alright, so we're going to get you to shoot there. This Great Eagle isn't doing anything, so we can attack there.
Awaiting orders.
Some of their troops are already starting to rout. And now our forces are really starting to hammer them from this side. What it all comes down to is we have to break these front ranks before those other rat men get up to us.
Orders. Winds of magic rise.
Understood. Move.
It's just going to turn into one giant Scrabble fest. So these are the Shadow Warriors that we haven't actually seen in our campaign up to this point. They're mobile archers from Nagaryth. Don't let that kind of turn them against you, though. Or turn you against them.
To the fray.
They're loyal to Ulthuan
Without fail. Serve the king.
and to the Phoenix King.
By Asurian.
It will be done.
Now it's just coming down to turning our troops around.
Archers.
We need to control this hill. So let's just pause really quickly. Select our archer unit. And grab every other archer unit in our army. Including our Shadow Warriors. Thought we had more than one unit of them, but apparently we don't. We want you to come up here on this hill and rain down death. We're going to take all of our Phoenix Guard units, because we have a fair number of them. We want you in this fight. And all of our Spearman units, from whatever various side, we're going to get you tossed in there too. And the good Chaplain and PC, we need you over here to deal with them. Our Archer ladies, we want you on top of the hill, along with our Mage. Now our Chariots and Illyrian Reavers, we want you to go down the flank. And whatever's left of the Great Eagles, you guys are going to come over and deal with that Warp Lightning Catapult. Like I said, it's just going to be nothing but chaos. We're trying to save as many elves as we can. Actually, good Chaplain, we're going to get you to breathe on them before anything else happens. And then we're going to get you to charge that Doom Wheel. And then we've somehow got to get this battle line reorganized so that not all of our elves are starting to get shot and killed. You archers, we're going to get to shoot those guys there. Now, the Warp Lightning, or the Plague Claw Catapult, is engaged by our Eagles. And there's a Hell Pit Abomination down there. You can go kill that, Chaplain. It is a chaotic mess down here. One that we're going to have to try and organize if we can. Don't know if it's possible or not.
Asur Mage. Men Louis! Araya Men Louis!
Orders received. For order. Move. For the Ever Queen. Swordmaster of Hoeth.
Our archers are definitely dealing a lot of damage to everything that's out there.
Ready and eager.
Agreed.
Champion of order!
None of our lords are really hurt right now.
It is done! Defender of Ulthuan! Mage. Ulthuan Mage.
We have lost a couple of units. I'm guessing it's a Great Eagle. Swordmasters have been beaten back pretty badly. We're going to recover a fair number of troops at the end of this, but that said, we're still losing a lot of elves.
Archers.
But at this point, it's go big or go home. Oh, you are out of ammunition. Don't want you to charge in.
Orders received.
Orders received. Assyrian willing.
So much to keep track of right now.
Swordmaster of Hoeth.
Silver helms. By your command.
Our Great Eagles have kind of exploded all over the place. Well, that unit of Shadow Warriors is out of ammunition.
For duty.
So they're going to have to charge down in these Storm Vermin, which is not usually a very healthy idea.
Silver helms.
Archers. Quickly now.
Dauntless. Charge.
Ever loyal.
Asur.
Ithalmar chariots.
Their morale is breaking, and if we can just shatter it, that'll be 2 army stacks down. That was a lot of losses. But we still have a ton remaining, and we wiped out all of their troops. Because you can't retreat when you're in march stance. And of course we're going to replenish our numbers. That should have
I light the way.
given us some experience. Gained a weapon from it all.
Time is of the essence.
A promising left.
Alright, Genis, we're going to give you another rank of Deadeye, because you have a Reaver Bow. And you're awesome. And the good Chaplain has maxed out pretty much everything we could possibly want him to max out. So, let's look. Yeah, we'll give him Master Strategist on this rank. Because he's already got pretty much everything. Doesn't really need magic resistance right now. He's on a dragon. Oh, he doesn't have everything in that column yet. Yeah, we're giving him more speed. Because we want him to be an able-bodied combat soldier. That's all he does. And Sheeny Yan, you've already maxed out Deadeye. We're going to give you the Ward of Loic, so you're more resistant to arrow damage. And only 3 more army stacks to go. The first one, that's a lot of plague. Oh, that's a lot of deadly stuff. But only 1 catapult. That's the key. Because the next one up has a catapult, warp lightning cannon, and a doom wheel. Though they're significantly weaker on the troops front. Now, if we march them back this way, we might get 1 more turn before we have to fight them all out. Because if they start going up this way, we can outrace them to the Gaian Vale. So it's probably the safest bet to pull them back. But let's see how far Genis can get, because she was the one that engaged in combat. I think that's within the combat range of Alchemist Spark. But the armies will move back together and not be separated.
We shall not rest.
And hopefully they don't ambush us down one by one. We'll have to fight those battles.
Time is of the essence.
Now, can Latania get over to them? Only if she goes into march stance. So we're going to have to leave that out of the equation for now. And hopefully my army stack is finished. Be able to go out and push them back. But that's probably a good place to end it for this week, guys. We're way better off than I thought we were going to be at this point, to be perfectly honest. 7 turns left. Just 7. And we can win this. Technically 6 now. But if you liked the video, guys, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, be part of our community, just hit that subscribe button. And make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. Remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.
Glory to the Cadai.